Hello, and you're listening to Oneness Project Light One-on-One with Israel Kelly. I'm your host, Cassandra. For those of you that are new, welcome, and thank you for joining us. This is week 4 in our series, and just to give you a quick summary of our format, each week I will be asking Israel questions on a particular topic that will enhance our understanding of life, the universe, and the world around us. As many of you already know, Israel Kelly is a life coach who is fully coalesced with Source Energy and has been granted with the universal knowing. He is here to bring messages of love to humanity from the divine and to facilitate all of us with the expansion of our consciousness. Last week we discussed part 1, the mysteries of death, where I was surprised to learn that our deaths are not predetermined. We in fact do not choose the way we die before we incarnate, because we all exercise free will. We also have the ability to communicate with our loved ones who have passed on. And if you want to learn how, you will have to listen to last week's recording, because we have lots to cover tonight. We are continuing on with part 2, exploring the so-called dark side mysteries of death. So without further ado, I present my dear friend, Israel Kelly. Hello, Israel. Welcome.
Thanks for having me, Cassandra. I am delighted to be here.
Hi, Israel. Moving right along with our topic for this evening. My first question for you is, what is a ghost?
That is a very good question, Cassandra, to start this conversation. Ghosts are negative thought form produced by human fear.
Okay, if they are simply thought forms, then why do some people experience paranormal activities?
Thoughts are eternal. Every thought that has ever been thought still exists. Those thoughts of fear are around, and because humans like to believe in negative things, and most of the time we are out of the vortex, those thoughts become things and they manifest with that negativity and belief about dark things and devil and Satan and demons and all that.
Interesting. Now, how do houses become haunted?
Those thoughts will have a form in time-space reality. If you believe in them, they become, they manifest. The fear manifests when you believe in fear. When you put your energy, when you have the disalignment into that negative energy. If you believe that a house is haunted, a particular house is haunted, because people say it is, you will experience that creation as your thoughts create your reality.
Very interesting. Now, during my teen years, like many curious teenagers, I experimented with Ouija boards and experienced firsthand some strange paranormal activities and established communication with non-physical beings with it. How do Ouija boards work, and are they safe to play with?
The Ouija board has its purpose before when humans they were not able to expand and believe in anything that they were not able to see. And it was a way for make humans understand that uh, they are connected to the spiritual part, that they are spiritual in a physical body. Non-physical energy is who we are. So there's nothing that you really need to use a tool or a Ouija board or any of that to connect with who you really are. You are source energy, the human body, having a human experience.
Okay, thank you for that. Moving right along, is there such thing as demons?
We are co-creators of our own reality. We can create love, or we can distance ourselves from unconditional love and create fear. Either or. The question is there any spiritual non-physical entity or energy which is harm, propagate fear, is a low vibration, or anything other than unconditional love? The answer is no, absolutely no. That doesn't exist. All that low vibration belief is just a human creation, human belief, human perception.
Well, that is definitely good news in my books. Now, what about Satan or hell and the story of the fallen archangel Lucifer in the Bible? Is any of that true?
The concept in the historical books about a war in between God and a fallen angel of his creation is just a fairy tale that has been around for generations before written books. There was a time in which women were in charge of government. In that generation, the people trusted more the women to be in charge to avoid war and battles in between villages. A few men started a propaganda of fear by telling the people of the village that far away there was this evil god that will come to destroy everyone, starting from those in charge, and that he hated women. The only solution it was, according to them, it was to have the men in charge and power, playing as gods and kings to protect the women and protect the population. The name given to this evil god, who never existed in the first place, it was Satan. With time, that caused people to start electing men back on power. That story was changed over and over, and after generations, when religions were born, and the system of this evil angel and this war um, in between him and God was inserted again to the religious belief with the purpose of controlling, inflicting fear, and those beliefs they were not taken lightly in that time. They're not taken lightly now. So the element of punishment and fear needed to be part of that new belief for people to obey, for people to comply with those regulations, those rules that were were used to intimidate and make them obey new laws.
Wow, that was a great explanation, Izzy. And thank you for bringing up the fact that women once had ruling power over the world. It validates other stories that I have read on this topic, and it definitely feels like the presence of the divine feminine is on the rise throughout the planet. Now, moving on to our next question. You mentioned earlier how demons do not exist but are simply thought forms created by human beliefs. How does a person become possessed by demons to the point that an exorcism is required to help them?
About being possessed, the human will be possessed by his own fear. They will experience a physical manifestation of that fear, materialize even as an incubus or demon trying to be intimate with their body. Always this produced by the human imagination to the point of feeling paralyzed, controlled by own thoughts. Thoughts create things. Thoughts become things. Thoughts combined with out of the vortex, full of fear, and believing in a devil and all that, will make them feel that their thoughts are real.
Wow, it's truly incredible how powerful our thoughts are to be able to manifest something so dark and evil within ourselves. Now, moving on to our next question. Where do mass murderers like Hitler go after they die if hell doesn't exist?
We are now occupying a physical form. In reality, we are a non physical spiritual energy now occupying physicality. Non physical is pure joy. Comes to time space reality or any other reality for a new experience, and comes for the expansion of thyself. The time on earth is time that doesn't hold any relevance on the non physical realms. In our human reality, we have the needs of fairness and revenge and punishment. Those are feelings, those are human feelings. After emerging, re-emerging to non-physical, we forget and detach ourselves of any human reality. And we become part of all there is. All of us, we are going to the same place. Whatever we did while on physical form, it doesn't have any relevance when we come back to the realm of the absolute, to the realms of the non-physical existence.
That is interesting. So everybody, regardless of whatever crime committed, is transformed back to a spiritual form of unconditional love. It definitely goes in line with everything you have shared with us so far, Israel. Now, moving right along, can someone cast a dark spell on someone else? For example, with voodoo dolls and black magic?
Anything that influences our reality is caused by the way we see things, by each one of us, by the way we understand our reality, but our human belief. So black magic, voodoo, dark spell will have the effect on someone who believes in those things. If the person is not clear about thought form and that whatever this person thinks becomes a reality, then it will be mislead. It will create the wrong things. If you believe those things are real, then they will have a power over you.
Okay, now what are some techniques we can apply to protect ourselves from negative energy? Or is it even necessary?
Non physical energy cannot be affected by anything. We are non physical source energy in a human body for the purpose of creating ourselves anew, for expansion. Is to announce and become, express and fulfill, experience and know our true self. If we detach ourselves from our old belief, from the way we perceive our reality as humans, and come back to the essence of who we are, which is a non physical source energy, then we were going to be able to coalesce with a larger part of ourselves and choose love, unconditional love, instead of fear.
My final question for you tonight doesn't deal with death, but it does deal with negative energy, and since we're discussing it, I'm curious to know. I personally do not enjoy watching horror flicks, but many people enjoy watching them. Does watching horror movies lower our vibration even if a person finds enjoyment in it?
If we feed our brain with fear, we are asking our body to respond with fear. Our subconscious mind doesn't deviate from right or wrong, but storage whatever we put in our brain. And those memories, of the way that we understand things, the way we perceive our reality, is there. It's part of our memory. If we give our senses something else other than fear, or let's say in a movie, in a magazine, in a book, then if we distance ourselves from feeding the needs of fear, being scared, then our brain will act and will react and will produce other than fear. Um, by giving your senses a different material, you will change the way you feel about those things that you are afraid of.
Thank you so much, Israel, for bringing us more clarity on this subject. Hearing your explanation definitely lightens things up, knowing that we have full control of our reality by taking charge of our thoughts and beliefs. Do you have any final thoughts you would like to share with us?
The final thoughts are: align yourself with the source within you. Get in the vortex, stay in the vortex. Choose love instead of fear.
That's beautiful, Israel. Until next time, this is Cassandra for Oneness Project Light One-on-One with Israel Kelly. Thanks for listening.
Thanks, Cassandra, for having me. I am delighted to be here. See you next time.